Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our student panel this afternoon. We're excited to have you joined with us and to get to share some information. Our student panel is going to be held on a couple of different topics. We're going to discuss classes and kind of dive into classrooms here at the campus, what the environment is like in classes. We're also going to discuss the campus just in and of itself and what there is to do on and off campus. And we're also going to discuss the Lamar community. With these three topics, we're going to be asking questions back and forth between myself and a couple of current students that we have joined with us. And then once we get done with that part of this session, we want you to ask your questions. So if you have any questions at all, no matter what they're pertaining, if they aren't about the topics that we're going to talk about, that is okay. You can ask your questions by going down at the bottom and the chat function, clicking chat. You can ask your questions to the group as a whole, or you can ask your questions strictly to me. My name is Lamar University on here, but my actual name is Bailey Smith, and I'm the Welcome Center Coordinator here at the university. I'm joined with me with a couple of our LU crew members. An LU crew is a job on campus where the students that are in this position, they're able to give tours to prospective students, answer admissions, phone calls, do some recruitment events and activities, and various other tasks that they do. They will introduce themselves in just a few minutes, but a couple of housekeeping items before they do that is we will keep your mics muted and your video turned off for the duration of this session. This is just to ensure your privacy as well as keep us on track and make sure that we give as much information as possible. And we also, like I said earlier, we want you to ask your questions. So you can do that through the chat function. And then the last thing is we are recording this session. If you didn't hear the little announcement, we are recording it. This will be posted on our visit page once it's completed. Usually takes about a week or so to get it posted on that page. So if you want to go back and watch it, or if you want to tell your friends to go watch it, tell some of your teachers at your high school, hey, you should tell people about this video, you can do that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and let the crew turn their videos on and see if they're ready. Hey guys. How is everybody?
I had coffee. All's well in the world.
Good, good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just let you guys introduce yourselves. You can, we'll start with you, Abigail, since you're already unmuted, and we'll go through and introduce yourselves, and then I'll come back.
My name's Abigail. I'm an applied arts and sciences major here at Lamar. I'm also a senior. I graduate in December, so I'm so excited. I love Lamar, but I think everybody gets excited once you get close to graduation. I am not from Texas. I was born and raised in Tennessee for many, many years of my life, and then my dad got a different job, and so we moved down here, and so I kind of college hunted and found Lamar and have just absolutely loved it here. I've been here for a couple of years now, and so that's my spiel.
I'm Jaslyn. I'm from Lake Jackson, Texas. I'm a mechanical engineering major, and I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and I am officially a nursing major. I'm no longer pre-nursing. I got accepted to the nursing program here at Lamar as of yesterday, so that's pretty exciting. I am now considered a junior, and I am from Silsbee, Texas, which is maybe about 45 minutes away from campus. So it's a pretty good drive for me, but it's the best drive in the world.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, ladies, and we're excited to ask you. I'm excited to ask y'all questions because I always love hearing what y'all have to say. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right into this, and I'm going to ask the first question. Is going to be, what is the campus environment like here at the university?
Can I jump
in? Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I've attended several semesters here now, and this kind of applies to like teachers and just like various staff and then students. So like one thing that always stuck out to me from the very beginning, I was actually coming to Lamar for a tour, and I was with my mom, and like neither one of us are gifted with directions. We're both very directionally challenged. And so we got lost trying to find like the building to meet at, which really now it's not difficult to find. It's just, it's on us. It's not Lamar's fault. And so we got lost trying to find it. And so we saw like the Lamar University Police Department saw one of their vehicles. And so we parked, went over to them, and I was like, hey, like, I'm supposed to be here for this tour. I don't know where I'm at or like what I'm doing. Can you point us in the right direction? Figuring they'd point us somewhere and we'd end up getting lost. We'd be a little bit closer to where we needed to be. And they were like, no, get in your car, follow us, like put on their lights and literally like dropped us off at the front door. And that was like my first initial meeting with Lamar. And I was like, okay, like how awesome is that they are like going, not just like pointing us in the direction, getting us started, like they're going above and beyond out of their way, just out of the kind, like they don't know if I've been a student there for 5 years and like they're not trying to sell me on anything. Like they, it's awesome. And then just like teachers, I've had such good experience with teachers, and I always make friends in all classes. I'm a chatty Cathy, so I like talking, so that's part of it. But it's like people answer back, people like there's really, really good environment at Lamar, like with teachers, with staff, janitorial, everybody's awesome.
Thank you, Abigail. I'm going to go ahead before Jordan and Jaslyn dive into that and let Kelby, she was able to join us. Yay. She's actually, her and Jaslyn are both working right now. So it took them a second to join in, but I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself before we keep going.
Okay, hi, I'm Kelby. I am a biology major. I'm concentrating in pre-dental. I'm technically a sophomore now, and I'm from Lumberton, Texas, which is just about 30 minutes away from, so not bad.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Kelby. So the question was, what is the campus environment like? And you don't have to give us such a long answer as Abigail. I'm just messing. But I'll go ahead while y'all are thinking about it. From a employee standpoint, getting to work with, personally getting to work with students. Now I'm not a faculty, I'm not a professor or anything, but I do get, because I am over the LU crew, so I do get a chance to interact with students, to visit with them on a day-to-day basis. And so just getting to see the interactions that happen not only in our office, but outside of our building and our walls, just getting to see students out and about on campus, different things going on. It's a really unique environment.
I would say the environment is very.
So do we just get to answer whenever?
Uh-oh. Debbie, I think your connection is messing up because I think there's a little lag.
It is. It's been doing it.
All right, Jaslyn, you can go ahead and continue.
Okay. I was gonna say I feel like the connection and the environment is very personal with everyone you meet. Everyone is willing to help you on campus, no matter if you just met them a week ago or they've been your friend for years. I feel like everybody is very helpful, including professors on campus, faculty, staff, and other students as well.
Awesome. Jordan, is there anything you wanted to add?
I was gonna say I agree with Jaslyn. Everyone on campus is actually very helpful and very friendly. There's been times where it's been raining and I didn't have an umbrella my first semester, and it was pouring down rain, and one of the one of the security guards actually walked me to my class with an umbrella because I didn't have one. So because that experience happened to me, it shows how helpful and friendly the Lamar University campus are for employees, for students, for everybody.
Awesome. So I think that since we're talking about campus and talking about the environment, we need to kind of talk about like what is there to do when you're not in classes that you can do while on campus.
So when you're not in class, if you want to stay on campus, of course you can go to the rec center if you like to work out, if that's your thing. The gym is open open, as well as if you would like to study in there. We also have in the Setzer Center, we have Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, and Jason's Deli. We also have a little marketplace in there. So if you want any snacks or you want to have some lunch or anything, of course, up there. And there's really good upstairs in that building. If you want to study, you can as well. Other things to do on campus, going to the library, we have Starbucks. If you need to print anything out, that's a great time to do it in between your classes. That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
I'll go. So for me, so like adding, I was like, I don't work out, like working out, like I'm not like, oh, rec center, I'm gonna go like, you know, lift weights. Like if you see me running from something, you need to run too, because it's not good. But I have a friend at work that met the LU crew, and so like we'll go to like the cycling class, like cycling, that's where, yeah, like the bicycle cycling classes. And so like we've done that. Like the rec center, they have a lot of like group classes and different things that like it's really well within your schedule, and so like they have them at all different times. So like they'll look at the setup for classes that semester, and then they'll kind of like plug in different classes at different times. And so for me, I was like, okay, I'm not just gonna go jog on the treadmill, but like going to a cycling class with buddies, like that's fun. That's, I mean, not something I'd normally do between class, but like, hey, I'm here, let's do it. And you feel like super healthy afterwards. And then you go to the food that Jaslyn pointed out, and you go stuff your face and like totally add back double the calories you just burned off. But it's fun and it's socializing, and it's really fun to do between classes.
There are also on campus, whenever there's not anything to do between classes, you can, of course, go to the Center Center and go snack and eat food and everything. But also around campus, the Cardinals Activity Board actually has events every now and then. There is the Week of Welcome, which happens the first week of fall semester. They'll have all different kinds of things like free pizza, free tie-dye shirts. They also have like little mini games around campus sometimes. I know a lot of the Greek life will have events around campus. They have bake sales and just kind of different fundraisers as well. I also know we also have Cardinal View as well. That's a big thing that our office actually does. I mean, it's mainly for, you know, prospective students, but if you're on campus and you want to come see us do our thing, that's also a thing you can come to watch too.
Is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, is it working now? I now. Okay, yeah. So pretty much like Jordan said, like there's always a student org with a table set up doing more than giving food. That is where you want to be. That or the set, or I mean, a lot of people like to study in our new sci-tech building now. It's to get a spot in there at this point. So I recommend going to the library because there's several different floors that are like personalized for how you study. You'll be those people that kind of respect how you, oh, I like it really quiet, or oh, this is more of a group setting and stuff like that. So that's where I like to hang out most of the time. Unless I just break, want to talk to my friends, and I don't want to study, then I'm going to go to the set and eat some Chick-fil-A and hang out.
Awesome. Well, as you can see, a lot of times in between classes, the number one and two are the things that the most common things that happen are you either go eat lunch, because a lot of times you'll have a lunch break. So you'll go eat lunch, which like Jaslyn said, we have the options in the Setzer Center. We also have the dining hall. So if you live on campus or don't live on campus, you can access the dining hall. You can just pay, I think it's like $7.25 if you don't live on campus and don't have a meal plan, to go in there and eat in the dining hall. A lot of students actually will study while they eat, and so you'll see students in the dining hall studying as well. We also have the tiny house barbecue. So there's a couple different options for you to go and eat. And then, of course, a lot of times depending on when your break is, you'll be studying, taking advantage of that downtime between classes to read over the material, either from the previous class or to read over the material because you have an exam coming up in the next class. So a lot of the times it's your downtime between classes is spent doing that. And then in the evenings with organizations and different things, they have meetings and events and stuff like that. So, but I think it should be noted that there's always something going on campus. I'm pretty sure we like have every organization finds the most random like days to celebrate, and they'll celebrate and have like a table celebrating that day. And so I mean, like National Best Friend Day, like just random days like that they'll celebrate just to kind of promote their organization, but it just ends up falling on like this random day, so there always seems like there's something going on. And then to just to add on to what y'all were saying, in the rec center, we have, which is the Recreational Sports Center, we have our gaming area and media center. And so you have ping pong, foosball, air hockey, pool, as well as there's TVs. There's 5 TVs and couches that you can go and sit. So if you don't want to study, you can actually, hang out with friends and get together and do stuff, as well. So just wanted
But
to
we're
add.
college students. We always want to study. We never want to take advantage of anything that the college has to offer. We're always just nose in the books. We never have fun.
You're so funny. Sometimes we have too much fun. That's what we do at the crew. We have lots of fun. I mean, I think we do anyway. I'm always laughing at them. So my next question is last question on campus. So we're going to talk about campus classes and community. So the last question on the campus, what's your favorite part of campus? You can talk about an experience, you can talk about a building, whichever you choose.
So our Student Set Center, there's like a second floor. And so like the first floor is where a lot of like the student organizations will like set up tables, and our like food courts down there. We have like a market, I don't know the name of it. We have like a little marketplace with like snacks and drinks and different things like that. But then if you go up to the second floor, there are study rooms. But then if you go outside, there's like this porch area with rocking chairs, and it overlooks our quad, which is just beautiful, and it has big trees, and everybody's coming and going from class. It's kind of like the center point of campus. And so I always go get like a good snack and good coffee and then go sit up there. And it's really nice to study. Like it's quiet and it's peaceful, then you still got kind of people coming and going like down on the first floor and outside. So that little like patio, I guess we'll call it, like the little patio outside with the rocking chairs. It's like my favorite peaceful spot on campus.
Anybody else want to add anything?
I second that, but I also like it with SciTech building. Honestly, I love it in there, but I think everybody kind of does.
And just so y'all can know what she said, you kind of cut out just a little bit before you said SciTech. So the SciTech is one of our newest buildings on campus, the Science and Technology building, and it's actually the only building that's open 24/7 on campus, and it's like right in the middle of our resident halls. So it's really close. Like if you're living on campus, it's really close for you to be able to go to study, then go to your dorm room and not have to walk super far or anything. Also, if you don't live on campus, there's a parking lot right next door. You can park and just walk in the building. So it's really nice, especially for like at nighttime whenever it's super late and you're tired and you don't want to have to walk super far back to your resident hall. It's right there. So before we move on to talking about classes, we did have a question, which was, do most students participate in some kind of organization or sorority or club? What would y'all say?
I believe most people that I know usually do participate in one. I currently am not a part of any organization, but I am going to hopefully be a part of the nursing department. They're LUTSNA. It's Lamar University, Texas Nursing Association. So now that I'm officially in the program, I will be joining that club just so I can kind of get more acquainted with my field of study and kind of what I'm actually going to be doing in the future. But it's for to answer the question, most people usually do participate in organizations, whether it's a sorority, whether it's just like a random club on campus. Most students I know do participate in something just so they aren't just studying and going to class. They're actually having something to look forward to other than classes and hang out with friends.
I think it's important to note that we have many types of different organizations. So we have academic, social, We have religious organizations. So there's different aspects to different organizations. You don't necessarily have to get involved in a social organization, although an academic organization is still social, but it has more of that academic piece. So if you are wanting to get more involved in your college, that kind of thing, you can do that through an academic organization. Jaslyn, I saw you were unmuted. Were you about to say something?
Yes, so I was going to say the majority of our campus, of our student body is involved in organizations. It does overall help each student individually with what they're trying to accomplish in college, whether it's connections, friendships, experience, anything like that. So like Bailey said, there are organizations for pretty much anything and everything. If you are into Greek life or want to try out Greek life, you can always go through their formal recruitment or get in contact with anybody the Greek office. We also have interest-based organizations as well. So, and then we have, of course, what's major-based organizations, so like engineering organizations, nursing. I think there's one pre-dental. There's organizations for everything, and so we do always encourage for students to get involved because you'll find so many great opportunities.
Awesome. I don't want to cut all of you off from talking because we can talk and talk and talk about different subjects, but we are kind of pressed for time, so I want to move on to our questions about classes. So the first thing that I will state about our classes is our class size. So we are a 19-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which generally means that we have smaller classroom sizes. You're going to have 20 to 30 students in a classroom on average. So you're going to have smaller classes, especially in your junior to senior year. You're going to have sometimes even 10 students in a class. Now your freshman year, you may have a couple of courses because we do have what's called prerequisites, which is classes that you take before you get into your major specific courses. A lot of times these are also called basics. And so a lot of students, most students have to take these courses. Most degree plans require them. So we're talking like college algebra, Englishes, anatomy and physiology, courses that many majors have to take. They're going to be a little bit larger, so you may have 50 to 60 students in those courses. So don't be shocked if your first semester you do have a larger class, but for the majority of your classes, they are going to be smaller. So with that, my question is, what is the classroom environment like? And y'all can talk about one specific class. You can talk about the different types of classroom environments that you've had, or you can just talk in general.
So like you said, like your beginning years, you can, like, they'll generally be a little bit bigger because kind of the majority of people are taking some of those prerequisites. But for me, like, I'm upper level. I've been taking upper level courses for several years now. And so most of my classes have between like 9 and 13 people because where I'm at, it's like I'm taking this like psychology of TV and film, like this really just cool, interesting class. And there's like 15 people in it. And it's like when I send an email to a teacher, I love it because our classes are small enough that you'll be like, hey, it's Abigail from so-and-so class. And they're like, oh, hey, it's not like I sit in the 37th row in the 58th seat. And like, it's not like this big, massive thing where you're just a number. It's like you do have kind of this relationship with your teachers. And specifically like junior, senior level, like if you have a teacher for one class, you're probably going to have them for other courses. Like I have one of my teachers, she was actually the head of my department, and she was my teacher for like 6 or 7 classes one year. So it's like you get to kind of build that relationship, and she was my advisor. So it's like we have a close-knit little community with the classes in general.
Awesome. Is there anything anybody else wanted to add on to what Abigail said? I mean, I think she pretty much summed it all up pretty well. I think it is to note too that a lot of times what this, like Abigail said, this small community, close knit feel that you get with your professors, what that can accomplish for you is network opportunities. So we have a lot of job fairs. And so your professor may say, hey, there's this job fair and so is going to be there and I'd like to introduce you to them. Or a lot of times too, you kind of skip the network opportunity because you've already networked with your professor and they're like, hey, I want you to go apply for this job, or hey, there's this internship coming up, or hey, there's this co-op, or hey, there's this organization. So there's all kinds of different benefits to having this close-knit relationship with your professor, that are outside of just being able to ask questions easily and frequently. So, and then what has been your favorite class while at Lamar? I'm hitting y'all with some hard ones, so you have to think of for a minute.
Mine definitely would have been this past semester. This past semester was mechanics of solids. It was definitely one of the first courses that kind of introduces me more to my major. And it was kind of challenging, but I really enjoyed it. And then we got to see kind of the hands-on equipment that we will begin to start using this next year.
Awesome. Okay, Kelby.
Okay, is it working now?
I think there was just a lag.
I've been all day and I've even been working too. There still is, I think. Okay. So my first biology, my general biology, just the first one, I took it with Dr. Molina. She was amazing. Literally, like, you make an A on the test, she gives you a pencil. It felt good to get that pencil.
That's awesome. Have a go, Jordan.
Well, I know I'll probably have a different favorite class, like the further I get into the program, but so far, my top two favorite classes I've taken have been Patho, which I had to retake because, Corona hit and it wasn't working out during spring, so I had to take it over the summer again. But retaking it, like, I found a different love for learning about what different body systems are affected by and what, diseases affect them, and how each different disease is somehow kind of tied together. And then I also love taking both of the anatomy classes I had to take before I got into the program. And the reason I like the anatomy classes because it was like the lab portion, because we got to play with like different models and did different like little activities to help us learn how the body works and which system, functions for what, and all different kinds of stuff. But my favorite lab probably was micro lab, because you actually got to grow your own bacteria, which sounds kind of disgusting, but was actually really interesting because, there's bacteria everywhere, good and bad. So we got to actually go and swab campus items, like maybe a door handle or like a pole in the cafeteria. We actually had to go swab things and figure out which bacteria was on that item. So that was pretty interesting to me.
That is very cool. It takes a special person to be interested in that.
So I'd say, but Lamar's clean. We have a very clean campus, aside from the bacteria growing everywhere. No, but for me, I have several classes that I've loved, like the information that I've learned, but the class, when you asked this, that stuck out in my head was my chemistry class, which was actually probably my least favorite class I've taken. I hate chemistry, but my teacher, he would just bring like various snacks in all throughout the semester. And like for our final, I think we had like a 9 a.m. chemistry final, which nobody wants. And he had the tests in one hand and he had cookies in the other. And he's like, take a test, take a cookie, take a test. And it just like made the whole semester. Like he would just come in, he's like, I have chewy cookies and I have crunchy cookies. I have like, you bring in Oreos and just different stuff. And so that's been like one of the funniest experiences with like class, which kind of doesn't fall into the question, but it's fine.
Get you stoned before you take the test. That's good. Well, thank y'all for sharing your favorite class experience. So now we're going to transition into the community portion and talk about the community. What has been your favorite thing about, or not your favorite thing, what has stood out to you about the Lamar community?
So for me, one thing that stands out, when we had, I guess it was Imelda, when Imelda hit, like the tropical storm last year, It was cool because I started asking around, like, hey, like, what are some things, like, I was trying to see, like, who we could help, and, like, who, like, I didn't know if anybody's put anything together to help, and I was shocked. Like, I asked one question of, like, hey, is anybody, and, like, before I even finished it, like, this group, like, this organization was putting together people to go out in the community and help, and, like, this group, they were taking donations to help out with stuff, and, like, I feel like as far as that, like, there's great positive things, like wonderful things, like when there's not any times of trial that Lamar does, but it was really cool seeing, like, I mean, I had friends that were affected, I had people that were affected, and just seeing that, like, before you could even, like, form a thought, like, Lamar already had put stuff into action to help out the community and to be sending out parties. Like, I mean, we were, like, tearing out sheetrock and getting food together and, like, you know, helping out with families and doing different things, and that was just really cool to me, because that was kind of my first bit of Lamar here, and I was like, all right, it's really cool as a community and them helping out.
Saw the same thing during Hurricane Harvey. We had tons of organizations and tons of people that got together and just supported. And, you know, we formed the phrase Cardinal Strong, and just the fact that, you know, as a university and as a whole, yeah, we have our organizations, and yeah, we have our classes and our majors, and, you know, we do have, like, the groups, you know, you're going to be more involved with your academic major over another one because that's what you're studying, but then you get to see all of those just come together for a united purpose, which is awesome in and of itself. Anything that Jaslyn, Jordan, Kelby, y'all wanted to add? Okay. Well, last question, and then we'll, if anybody has any questions, we'll dive into those. But what has just been your best experience at Lamar?
Mine has been meeting new people. So I came from a really small town, and I moved to Beaumont about 2 years ago, not knowing a single person there. At 17 years old, going to start my college career, and within the first couple months, and then of course within these last 2 years, I've met some of the best people of my entire life, and some of my best friends, and literally what I call my second family, my Beaumont family. So definitely that's been my best experience.
Awesome. I know I've enjoyed getting to know you.
For me, for me, I know this is going to sound so biased when I say this, but this truly, like, working at LU Crew has, like, given me, like, some of the best, like, memories, like Jasmine said, like, meeting people. So, like, I'm a commuter student. I don't live on campus. LU Crew has been, like, one of the easiest ways to plug in. Like, some of my genuine, like, best friends are part of my, like, work family. I sent a text to one of my bosses this morning. I said something, and I was like, yeah, like, my LU family. And she's like, oh, family. I was like, yeah. And it's just, like, I feel like all my best experiences, or the majority of them, like, revolve around LU Crew in some way, shape, or form. Like, whether just stupid fun stuff we're doing at work and, like, getting to work with your best friends, or, like, I mean, we had, like, a Halloween party last year, and, like, we watched movies, and, like, just whatever we do, like, LU Crew has been, like, definitely, like, center core of, like, my best memories at Lamar.
I have to agree with Abigail. The LU Crew has definitely been a big experience for me on campus, just because I came from a really small school, but I do know people on campus because, you know, I'm only 30, 45 minutes away from campus. But I was never really involved my first year. Besides being on the marching band, I was in the color guard team, which that was another big experience that I just enjoyed all around. I wish I could go back and do it again, but, you know, I'm not gonna have time now that, you know, I'm in nursing school. But definitely I can agree with Abigail that the LU Crew has been one of the big experiences that have allowed me to meet people and actually, you know, make friends on campus and not just, like, be stuck in a hidey hole just hiding out away from the world. So definitely color guard and LU Crew have been the top two for me so far.
Okay, I do. So of course, LU Crew, like everybody says, but I also did the cheer team my first year, and that was just last year, but that was such a good experience for me, and I didn't do it again, unfortunately, just because I'm going to need to use use my Saturdays, my time now to kind of prep for my pre-dental stuff. But it was such a good experience to me, and I recommend that everybody be as involved as you can be while prioritizing your studies still. That, and just check out the student orgs, Greek life, whatever you feel comfortable with. But
Awesome. Well, as of right now, we don't have any other questions. So just one last question from me, and it'll give students a chance to ask anything if they do have anything. But one last thing is, lost my train of thought. If you could describe, and you don't have to explain why, but if you could describe Lamar and your experiences here in one word, what would that word be? And like I said, you don't have to say why. Mine would be passion.
Comfortable? I don't know. It's a weird word, but
You can explain if you want.
There's two,
Yeah.
I would say, for me. Community, because we're like one big family here at Lamar, and positivity, because everyone always rallies together when there's someone or something in need that needs help, or I guess helpfulness too. But
It's a hard one. You're okay. You can still think if you need to.
this one, I would have to say I've narrowed it down to 3, but it's very
Yeah.
difficult. I've got community, home, and pride, and that's all.
The only one that kept coming into my mind over and over again was home, I guess I would say too.
Okay.
see,
Oh.
comfortable fits in there.
Something in there.
Yeah, it works.
I feel like you were gonna want to try to play here, so I was saying you know that you could if you needed to or wanted to. Well, thank you all so much for joining with us. Thank you to our attendees. Thank you, Laura. I see you there. Thanks for attending. And we hope that you were able to get your questions answered and get some information and really get to feel what it's like to be a student and to get to hear from students. And we hope you enjoyed this session. We do have another student panel that will have other students in it that's coming up on the 29th of July at 3 p.m. as well. It's going to be about how to prepare and get ready to get involved, and how, like, what you need to do the first week and 2 weeks to have a successful college career, and just different things, and how to go about spending your first, we say first 2 weeks of your college experience to make your first semester and your next 4 years successful. So we're going to kind of dive really deep into that, not deep, but dive into that mainly. That's going to be our main topic for that session. So if you're interested in joining us for that, that's on July 29th at 3 p.m. We would love for you to see you there. And as for the LU crew, thank you so much for sharing with us your experiences and talking to us about classes and campus and community. And we hope that you will join us for other sessions. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at visit@lamar.edu. If you were interested in any of the students that are here today with us, their majors, or just anything that they said, you can put their name in the subject line and they will know to respond to you and kind of start up a conversation, and y'all can kind of chat back and forth. And once again, that email is visit@lamar.edu. With that, we'll go ahead and say, have a great LU day. Thanks.